deletion is number 2 regarding expanding the commission. We're going to delete that today. The addition, first addition is going to be the recommendation of the appointment of Mark Maluski to the, the commission. I just realized our mics are off. Thank you. Okay, so just restating this. So for additions and deletions, we're deleting number 2, which is the expansion of the commission to 7. We're going to table that and take that off of the action item for today. We are going to add the recommendation of Mark Maluski to be appointed as a Groseal Police Commissioner, and we are going to add a action item for conditional offer to Mr. Ames as a Groseal Police Officer.
I approve the agenda, or the motion to approve the agenda as revised.
Do I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, sir. To begin, public comment for anybody? Seeing no one, moving on. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of April 15th, 2025?
Motion to approve.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Action item, first action item. So first action item is to approve the probationary status of Officer White effective May 6, 2025. Chief, discussion on that?
Since Officer White has come to the department, he's completed his FTO program, which is about a year ago, with no issues. He's been assigned to midnights for pretty much the whole time. He gets along with everybody, does a great job at work. He's been a great addition to our department, and there's no issues to report. He's well liked, and he does a good job. Fortunate to have him.
That be, Chief, anything to add on Mr. White, Officer White?
No, just to reiterate what the chief said. Fantastic addition to the department. We're very, very happy to have him, and we don't get to see him, unfortunately, as much being on midnights, but we only hear good things. So, again, we're very happy to have him.
Very good. Go ahead, Mr. Ranka. Go ahead.
I was just going to make a motion.
I was just going to say I had the pleasure of spending some time with Mr. White at the station a few weeks ago. He's a pleasure to talk to you. Great officer. Seems to have a good head on his shoulder, so I think he's been a good asset to the department. So. Mr. Ranka?
Sure. I move that we remove the probationary status of Officer White effective May 6, 2025.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Second action item. Second action item is to recommend that Mark Maluski be appointed to the position of Groseal Police Commissioner, subject to board approval.
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion?
No, I mean, I think you guys had interviewed him twice. I got the opportunity to interview him once, and very excited to have the skill set he's gonna bring on board, and hopefully the township board passes on or approves him for to join the commission.
Brother?
I feel the same.
I was going to say it was a tough decision with 6 candidates that we interviewed, and just based upon the needs of the commission, we felt that Mr. Maluski is best suited at this time to fill the opening for the commission. So with that said, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on. Third action item is to present a conditional offer to Mr. Ames to the position of Groseal Police Officer, subject to all of his background checks, board approval, etc. Do I hear us?
I move to offer the conditional offer to Mr. Ames.
Support.
Discussion? Chief?
So he's gone through 2 interviews, once with the police administration and one with the police commission. You guys have recommended him to move forward. The next step would be a conditional offer, and what that is an offer of employment under these conditions. He has to pass his background investigation, his psych exam, a physical and drug screen, and then 1 year probation, and then before the probation, it's the final approval by the board to hire him. So if the board does not want to hire him, the conditional offer is not valid. He has to complete all of those things to have it be, the conditional offer come true. So
And this is a backfill for Officer Beaudry, who's
Correct.
resigned effective 3 months, 4 months ago.
This will put us at 23 employees or 16 sworn, and then we still have the one vacancy, but that's where we're at right now, so.
No, I thought he did really well in his interview, and I have a feeling he's going to do a great job for us.
I was gonna say, I thought he was very well rounded. His presentation to us was sincere, and that's what we're looking for in an officer. So, moving on, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next issue, department updates.
So, got a couple things to go over. So at the last police commission, I believe we talked about 2 items that we were gonna put forward to the board. One was, this was a couple, I think 2 board meetings ago, approving the sale of our canine car to Wyandotte for $25,000. So that was approved. We received the check, which has already been cashed, and we're delivering the car tomorrow. We're gonna deliver it instead of having them come on the island and get it, so. Second one was in the last board meeting, I believe Mrs. Shelton had read off our action item to purchase 13 new laptops, which was approved. So those are new laptops for the cars. They're 2018 laptops. They can't actually be upgraded past Windows 10, and they're no longer going to support Windows 10. So that's why we're moving forward on that. Generator, we've had a lot of contractors come in. We've had our C. Rains come in, also help us with some of the contractors. We've gone through buying a generator like we have now and just replacing what we have. We've actually had a person come in for solar to see what a solar generator would entail and how much that would cost. Right now, that's not an option. And then we're also looking into now placing the same type of generator or a little higher outside, which seems to be a little bit more cost effective. We just have to, there's some internal stuff they have to work out ahead of time. So we're still moving forward in the generator. We're just trying to look at all the options we can before we just make a decision on it.
Just as a reminder, the old generator is staying in place, or it's going to get sold?
If anybody wants it, they're going to have it disassembled to be removed out of the building, and they're going to have to reassemble a 33-year-old generator, whatever they need for. We have offered it to the other managers in the township. I think they're a little shy on the 33-year-old age of a generator to be. It has to be inside. It doesn't have outside encasing. So I think we've offered it. We've had no offers to take it yet within the township. Different departments within the township. Our department created we have new ID cards. Wendy did a great job in redesigning our entire department's cards. Now they're laminated with holograms. They should last a lot longer than we had before. Yesterday I participated, I attended the DARE graduation for the 5th graders. Officer John Canterbury is our DARE officer. He does the presentation, did a great job, and it went really well. And it's pretty cool to see all the 5th graders come on the stage, and they're all extremely excited. They write some great essays, and they have a lot of pride in what they've gone through. And the last thing I have to update on is we have Island Fest coming up. We all know there's a bridge closure. We have Woodhaven Reserves and Wayne County Sheriff Reserves assisting us, especially on fireworks night. These reserve officers do a lot of long hours. This is like their Super Bowl. They put as much time as they can into this, and they really do. They do it all for free. They do it all volunteers, and just for the community to make sure we have a safe operation for our children and our families. We're going to be stretched a little thin because we're going to have to move everybody off of the toll bridge. It's a long distance to drive, a lot of intersections. So we're trying to make plans to finalize that probably tomorrow. So.
Can we make it so that they're just forced to turn right and go head north on Jefferson to get off the island?
We can do that. We've done that in the mornings when Deputy Chief and myself, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, we're doing that intersection up there at Meridian Bridge. When it gets real bad, I think we were back to almost 2 miles at one time. Riverview assisted us and moved everybody right. And it took us quite a while, even at that pace, to move all those cars out of there. So we're going to let the sheriffs. It'll probably be around 11:30 at night when that possibly happens. So we're going to have to let the sheriffs. They're going to have to make that judgment call when they're there. So I don't know, and we don't know the number of reserves they're going to have there at the time either. So we're working on that.
With
The Island Fest with the rides, do we know what they're anticipating for rides this year?
I do not know the ride schedule. They may have a bouncy house, I'm not sure.
Is it back to fireworks or the?
They're gonna have real fireworks. That was one of the first things I asked. So with the real fireworks, I know the soccer tournament is gonna have a good number of teams. I believe I heard over 60, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. It's a good number, and so that to bring revenue, hopefully, to the Island Fest, right? But that means we have more people, so we have to manage more crowd. So beer tent's still gonna be happening.
So, the reason I was bringing up the rides, do we know if the bridge has coordinated with the carnival?
So, yeah,
Township is coordinated with the carnival, 100%.
yeah,
Derek-
Chad's been working with them a lot.
And Derek has spoken to them. He told us today he spoke with them personally. So they're going to coordinate that coming across. They will not do it at rush hour. So
No.
fun to watch. That's all I have for the department update.
Thank you, Chief. Deputy Chief, I guess that means you're up, sir.
My time. Good evening. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right?
Happy Tuesday, yes,
No.
sir.
First off, I know myself and the entire administration want to thank the men and women of the department. We have been, believe it or not, we've been getting many compliments on the work that we've been doing to try to make exiting the island and returning to the island better. And we have been getting some positive feedback. We're also working with Riverview, and I know the chief has said, or had mentioned Wayne County. Wayne County's been out there every day from like 11 to 3, and they're helping alleviate some of that congestion and the lane crossing and the backups where they're sitting in the intersection, causing a problem for southbound and northbound Jefferson. So we just appreciate everybody's involved, the people, like I said, the men and women of the department. Everybody's putting in the extra hours, and it's not unnoticed. So I just wanted to start with saying that. Numbers
No,
for.
just
Go ahead.
to reiterate that, right? It definitely hasn't gone unnoticed, and the whole island owes you guys a debt of gratitude to get to make it happen. And I know two of you guys are typically
I think
there every morning.
out of all the intersections, I think in the morning Bridge and Meridian run the best. So. Yeah. But anyway, we did want to thank everybody that's helping to make this a little bit better. And it was actually brought up at the managers meeting this morning. The township manager even said that they were getting some thank yous, saying that this time around they've noticed that we've had more participation, not just up there a couple days and then nobody's there. So we're in it for the longevity of however long this takes and making it better for the residents.
I think what we should do before it's all over is write the lessons learned and what we need to do, because at some point in time the bridge is going to go down for a longer period.
Right.
And it would be nice to anticipate that with, if there's different signages or lane markings or whatever that we need construction-wise on either side of the bridge. It would be nice to have that well in advance.
I think that's a really good point, Eric. We are learning as we go, and things change. That's a huge volume of traffic to funnel through that two-lane area, especially during your rush hours, your return, and then of course everyone leaving in the morning. And when one of the problems that we have in the morning, especially on Mondays and Tuesdays, when you have all the waste management trucks coming over, that really backs it up. I know me and Doug witnessed that. Me and the chief witnessed that firsthand. I mean, it backs it up. I would say, what do we get to, like Potawatomi sometimes?
We've had, I think, the
Because
longest.
you have to shut traffic down entirely.
Totally,
They don't
yeah.
want that much weight on it.
Early on, I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, I believe we had almost 3 mile backup. We were almost on to Lowry on the first week, but you said lessons learned, talking with Derek and then Porsche Joe. We've narrowed that down to a lot faster now. We've changed the way they move the trucks across. And I know the township has had numerous conversations about how to restructure that whole intersection, but that's the city of Riverview, and that's run by the Wayne County Roads. So there's a lot of moving parts in there. It's not, they just can't put a light up.
Yeah, no, I got it, right?
Survey-
It's not gonna happen
traffic
now, but
studies,
like,
right.
if the bridge is gonna go down
Right.
for a longer period of time, let's get that out there now and start the engineering work and the
Right.
requests anyway.
So I think they are doing that. I know I started my own list of things gone right, things gone wrong, lessons learned, you can call it whichever. But I do think that we're going to have to pull them all together, all the different departments or teams, and work on that, providing that to the township. I know they have their own list. And they're actually doing things, trying to do things as they go along. But you're right, you have to maintain a list of these things so that you can go through them.
Yeah, let me use it, make the design now. It's not gonna happen overnight,
Right.
so.
So there's a lot to learn, and I think we're doing an exceptional job for what we have to work with right now, and we've even seen it lighten up traffic-wise, actually, in the evenings. It seems like at 6 o'clock, everything's pretty much cleared up. Those first two nights, we were looking 7:30, 8 o'clock before, we were backed up to King Road on Jefferson. So we're not seeing that anymore, which is a positive. But anytime that bridge closes, this is what we usually see in the first week. People make adjustments, people travel, they make adjustments in their travel, but way better than it was the first few days. So to the business here, April, the calls for service, we had 619 total calls for service, 757 incoming calls to dispatch, and on top of that, 101 911 calls. 146 traffic stops, 14 citations, 58 notices to appear, 72 verbal warnings, 28 security notices. We had 1 OWI, 2 immigration arrests, 1 DWLS, domestic violence, and 1 assault. Out of the month of April, 22 reports, 26 FOIA reports, 8 accidents, and 0 car deer accidents. DB, there were 27 cases assigned, 20 cases were closed, and 7 of them were active. Animal control, there were 42 animal control calls, and those are the numbers for April of '25.
ADC,
Yes, sir.
on the streets, 146 traffic stops. That's a little higher than normal, right?
It is higher than normal.
Where officers are out there hustling, making the stops, but if you look at the verbal warnings, and then 14 citations were only issued at 146 stops, they're trying to provide messaging to the public. So I think that, when he read that off, that was a pretty, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
but
no,
that's a kind of
it's
a little
fact.
higher than normal, right? So that was good.
It is, and you're seeing the weather starting to get warmer. You're going to see more people out, and it is. But that's phenomenal work from the officers that are working the
Deputy
road.
Chief, I was gonna say, I've noticed, especially with the kids being out more on the streets, riding around, things like that, it's a necessity to stop the drivers that are speeding around, especially up and down East and West River where there's no sidewalks or bike paths. So it's much appreciated when I see them, especially, down by my house on East River where we have all those curves that are just blind to the kids where there's no sidewalks. So I appreciate it.
They're highly visible, and that's what we want. We want them out there. We want them being seen, and it's just a little reminder of people to pay attention to their speed and what they're doing on the road. The training report, I'm just going to briefly go over this. These were the trainings we did for the month of April. We had anti-bias training for law enforcement, autism for law enforcement, promoting safe outcomes when it comes to that. The dive team, we had our monthly training. SWAT had their monthly training. Foundations and ethics for law enforcement. Interacting with mentally ill as a first responder. The Intoxilizer 9000, which is most of us are still calling it the Data Master, but that's for OWI, for breath samples for drunk driving. And then MCOL speed measurement, operator recertification, and mental health first aid for public safety. That's really become a big training point for law enforcement is mental health and some of the things, a lot of the things that officers come across on the streets, which is, I think, very, very beneficial to the officers for their safety and the safety of who they're coming in contact with. The reserve report for April of '25, they logged 36 hours. The April events, the 19th and 25th, officers worked the vacation checks. Pretty slow month, but we have had reserves helping out with the intersections, which we're very grateful for, meaning the intersections for the bridge closure. But coming up in May, the 26th, they have the Memorial Day run. The 29th, the high school graduation, which I can't believe is here already. May 31st, June 1st, and the 2nd, we have, of course, Island Fest. And as the chief was saying, that is a very, very long weekend for them. They're all here. They're putting in long, long days, and we can't be more appreciative of them being here and putting in that time and helping us out.
Deputy Chief, our dates are wrong on that, if I'm looking at my calendar right.
31st, 1st, and 2nd?
Yeah, just, it should be May 30th is Friday.
So, yeah, 30th, 31st, and 1st. It's
It
just off
is,
by one
yep,
day.
Just
I'm-
making sure we're,
I shouldn't
just
read off this paper, but yeah, no, it's,
That's
you're
all
you're
right.
right, it is.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
All right. Maybe this is last year's report. I don't know.
We'll just show up late.
Thanks for the clarification, but did you have any questions for me?
No, and again, thank you for everything that you and Chief do with the bridge closures and everything. It doesn't go unnoticed at all. And our officers that I know are being ordered back in, you know, I know I've talked to a number of them. They go home, they sleep for 2-3 hours, and they're ordered back in because that's just what the community needs. So it doesn't go without being noticed, and their time and commitment to the department and our township is greatly appreciated. So thank you.
Yep, okay.
I want to add to, I think it's really important for people to understand the focus on training. I think that is so important, and I think it speaks volumes to your leadership and making sure that everybody's well trained, because that's truly putting the interests of not just the residents, but your officers, and making sure that they have what they need as well to do their jobs. So it's appreciated.
Deputy Chief, one other thing I was going to say is that, so we only had one OWI, a lot of people know them as DUIs, for the month of April. On a personal note, I deal with a number of these with my own clients. There is a newer, it's called BAC Track, TRACK. It is a handheld device that has been tested that the courts are now using. You can buy one without a subscription, and it just will at least give you your own breathalyzer. It's $100 for the device. They're extremely reliable. The courts are using them for family law. In my mind, in these days when that is available for $100, it's much cheaper than people paying me or colleagues of mine at $35, $55, and $7,500 for a DUI. So I put that out there where if you're drinking, think about buying one of these if you have more than 2 drinks, because typically you're going to be over the legal limit if you're over 2 drinks within an hour, hour and a half, depending on your size and your metabolism. $100 is well worth the investment to have in your glove box versus paying an attorney to defend you to get you out of an OWI, if they can even get you out, because 9 times out of 10, if not more, you're not getting out of a DUI, you're just getting a lesser plea to something of a lower charge, but you're still going to have an alcohol related charge on your driving record, which then also on top of the attorney's fees comes your insurance rates. So circling back to, I just asked the people to spend the $100 if you're drinking and get yourself one of these breathalyzers, because it's well worth it. It's not pleasant dealing with an OWI or a DUI. So I digress, but that triggered my thoughts on that one OWI.
We can't recommend anything like that, but I will say that I think education, public awareness has really, really drastically reduced those numbers. I know that when myself, chief, lieutenant, when we started, it was where the numbers were.
Rampant.
Yeah,
Rampant.
it was so, and it was not, I mean, if somebody said we had one, they'd say, was anybody working the road that month? So I do think that I think the education and public, I know the Office of Highway Safety has done a really good job of publicizing it and saying, hey, before you get behind that wheel, make sure that you're, make sure you haven't had too much.
We're not endorsing, I know you're just passing on information, we're not endorsing, there's no calibration techniques on these home.
No, there's
things,
not.
So
It's
you can't 100% rely on something that's not calibrated like ours are. We're not endorsing, we're just
Right.
giving out information to try to save lives.
exactly. No, it's not an endorsement. It's
We-
just something it's my own personal beliefs in dealing with clients that it could help. Where is the state at with, if we know, on testing or a test for the driving while under the influence of the marijuana?
If you're under the influence driving a car and you have a high enough levels, it's basically a blood test, and your roadside, it's kind of similar. Roadside observations and testing.
Your field sobriety tests based, that's
And
what
then the
your,
blood draw.
what your probable cause is.
Very good.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Liaison report.
Oh, wow, that was fast. So I just want to reiterate, congratulations to Officer White and our hopefully incoming Officer Ames. I want to also thank Officer Canterbury and the work that he does on the DARE program. I think it's significant, and I think going through the graduation and making sure kids understand, the tenets of the DARE program, I think that's really impressive, and I think that's extra work, and I appreciate that he's doing that. And with respect to extra work, I've said this, I think, on the last 3 board meetings. I can't express more how I appreciate the command staff, both Chief Carmack and Deputy Chief Brozick, doing that, coordinating all the traffic and actually doing the traffic work. I think that's significant. I don't think that's recognized enough from a board level. And I do think it needs to be acknowledged far more than it is, because I think it's significant. And I know I appreciate it, and it's a lot of work, and it's in inclement weather, and it's not really what your job responsibilities should be, and the fact that you've stepped up is very much appreciated. I know I appreciate it. So I know you guys have heard it, but I don't think you can hear it enough. So that's it from me.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve the monthly reports?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, public comment. Any public comment? Seeing none, moving on. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.